Hello everyone. In the previous videos, we have already seen the provisions related to the manufacturing and various others factors or various other concepts and topics involved in the Drug and Cosmetic Act. Okay. Now in this video, we are going to see the provisions relating to the sale of drugs. Now there are different forms involved in these drugs, there are different conditions, but we will mainly focus on the just we will overlook this concept of provisions relating to the sale, and what are the basic requirement and what are the rules to be followed while selling the drug as a wholesaler or as a retailer, that we are going to see in detail. Okay, so basically who can give this license for the sale of drugs? So state government may appoint a licensing authority to issue a license for sale. Applicant has to make an application in the prescribed term. The granted license are required to be renewed within 6 months after its expiry. uh, the duration of this license and how to renew the license, that we will see in the next part of this video. Correct, but for now just remember that state government appoint the licensing authority, and that licensing authority, upon fulfillment of the requirement uh, prescribed by this law means the act, Drug and Cosmetic Act 1940, and the rules, the licensing authority give a license. Now these are some forms. The license shall be issued in various form. Okay, you may take a screenshot of this, or you can pause the video and read it one by one. I will not read it because it is not that much useful, because you if you read it yourself, then only you will remember it. There is a separate list of various forms. We have seen so many forms in this act. Okay, form a, B, C, D, from A 18, from 19, from 17. A means there are various number of forms involved in this particular act. Okay, these are not to be remembered, only the important forms which are to be required, and the means which form is required for the application, and which form is required for the for the license, means किस फॉर्म में एप्लीकेशन किया जाता है, किस फॉर्मेट में, और किस फॉर्मेट में लाइसेंस ग्रांट किया जाता है, that is to be remember for a certain topics. Okay, and that I have already covered. In this case also, for the license of for the selling license, there are different types of form that you can read it, and you can write it down while writing the different topics in the selling of drugs. Okay, or otherwise what you can do, you can do a comparative study, or likewise, because anyhow you have to remember these forms. So the way of remembering is up to you, how you will remember. My job is to only tell you that this, suppose if we talk about schedule H drug, so for the drug specified in schedule X, the form is 20G. I will tell this, but the problem is you will not remember until and unless you will read it again and again. Okay, so try to read these things, try to write this in your notebook, and by stopping the video. And you can also take the screenshot. Also, I have sent you the Drug and Cosmetic Act entirely in your WhatsApp group, so you also can check it out. Or in this book also you will find the list of forms, so you can read those list of forms also. Okay, so this is about the forms and means the licenses which are given in the various forms. Okay, now the important topic is duration of license. So how much is the duration for the license? Is the license are valid up to 31st December of the year following the year it should be renewed. The license should be renewed within 6 months after its expiry. Even after 6 months the license can be renewed under specified conditions. Means uh, every year that license should be renewed. And as I told you, if my license is expire in January, if my license is expire in December and I have not apply again in January or February, or I have applied in March, then also it is valid. But after June, I mean after the 6 months, it is not valid in the normal circumstances, but in the specified condition it is still valid. Now the next concept is renewal of license. Means it is when we applied for again for to renew the license, that particular process is called as the renewal of license. So what is this renewal of license? The license in various forms are valid basically for 5 years from the date of granting them, correct? So after they have mentioned some forms like form 20, form 21, form 20b, 21b, 20f, 20g, form 20c, 20d, various forms. Those are valid for 5 years. बट 5 years लास्ट के जो 5th ईयर के 31 दिसंबर को वो एक्सपायर हो जाएंगे, करेक्ट? आई बात समझ में? तो उसके बाद 6 महीने या फिर उसके दिसंबर के तुरंत बाद या फिर 6 महीने में कभी भी आप रिन्यूअल ऑफ लाइसेंस के लिए अप्लाई कर सकते हो. ओके, then after expiry of the license but within 6 months of such expiry you can apply for the license. Then we will learn about the duplicate license. Now on your screen you will see the license for retail sale, license for wholesale, application form, license fee. I will not go in detail about any form now because we have studied already so many forms. So only what you have to do, just in this book also I think so there is one list. If you search in this book somewhere, there is one list like there is a list of schedules, there is a list of forms also, or otherwise I have the list of forms. In that they have mentioned all the forms in detail and for what is the purpose of that form, that I will give to you and you will read only that list, and you have to in simple words mug up the list, because you will not there is no conceptual understanding in this, because फॉर्म 1 का मीनिंग ये है तो ये है, फॉर्म 20G इज फॉर द शेड्यूल H तो शेड्यूल H, उसमें conceptual understanding is as such nothing. Okay, so I will not go in detail of that. We will just thoroughly it is just for your understanding that I will give you one list of forms and you read it before the exam, and that is more than sufficient. Only the basic understanding behind this you need to understand. Okay, so we will directly move to the duplicate license. Yes, डुप्लीकेट लाइसेंस कैन बी गिवन, जस्ट उसकी जो फीस है वो पे करनी पड़ती है. यहाँ पे भी कुछ कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं है, सो वी विल मूव फर्दर. ओके, नाउ द मेन पार्ट कम्स condition sorry conditions of license for a wholesale of drugs other than those specified in schedule C, C1 and X. Why schedule C, C1 and X have so much importance in the Drug and Cosmetic Act, that I have repeatedly tell you in the previous videos, as there are biological products and narcotic and psychotropic substances. So the regulation for the selling, for the manufacturing, for the C, C1 and X drugs are very different, and that's why the conditions for license for wholesale is the criteria for those drugs is also very different. So what is the basic criteria? The premises must be adequate and equipped with proper storage accommodation for preserving the properties of drug. This is nothing but they should follow the proper storage accommodation. They should have adequate and equipped area, everything. Okay, the premises should be under control of competent person. Okay, means now what do you mean by competent person? It is nothing but the registered pharmacist who know how to how to manage the things. He know how to store the things. He understand the things properly. So that is nothing but the competent person, right? All drugs should be purchased from duly licensed manufacturer. Means if also we are a seller or wholesaler or retailer, still we need to purchase the drugs from a licensed manufacturer. We have already seen the license, the criteria for the license to the manufacturers. Okay, so we have to purchase the drugs from those only. We cannot purchase from illegal vendors. We cannot purchase from illegal manufacturers. In our organic chemistry lab, suppose we synthesize some drugs and we sell them. So, can it be a licensed manufacturer? Can we a licensed manufacturer? No, we are not licensed manufacturer. We have illegally manufactured those drugs in our OC lab without any license. So, we come under the illegal license manufacturer. Okay, so we cannot sell those drugs, and the seller or the wholesaler cannot buy the drugs from us. Okay, then the licensee should sell the drugs only to a person who holds the license. This condition of license shall not be applied to the following. Now, किस कंडीशन में ये अप्लाई नहीं होता? दैट इज दे हैव गिवन एन ऑफिसर और अथॉरिटी वर्किंग ऑन अ बिहाफ ऑफ गवर्नमेंट, right? Then the educational institute, hospital or registered medical practitioner who carries out the sale of drugs for patient. Okay, now remember, the licensee should sell the drugs only to a person who holds the license. This condition of licensee shall not be applied to the following. Now, suppose I am a wholesaler. I want to sell some my drugs, but to whom only I can send? I can sell. I can sell only the licensing. I can sell only to the person who has the license for the retail, or someone who has the license anyway. Okay, but these two conditions are not required for these two people. Who are these two people? Officer or authority working on a behalf of government. कौन होगा ये? गवर्नमेंट एनालिस्ट हो सकता है, ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर हो सकता है, एनी लाइसेंस एनी एनालिटिकल बॉडी का मेंबर हो सकता है, और एनी एनालिटिकल जो लैब्स है उन्होंने अगर कुछ सैंपल्स मंगाए हैं तो वो हो सकते हैं, एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट हो सकता है. सपोज अवर कॉलेज वांट्स टू डू अ रिसर्च ऑन समथिंग and we want a bulk drug. Suppose you required any drug in a bulk quantity, so you can purchase it from the wholesaler. Still you don't possess the license, you don't have a license to purchase it, but still you can purchase because you want it for the research purpose. Then also he can send to the registered medical practitioner or the doctors or to the hospital, because they are well qualified, and these 2-3 peoples have given the exemption from this rule. Okay, the license shall be displayed at the prominent place open to public. This is required for in every cases. Means अगर आप किसी मेडिकल में जॉब कर रहे हो एज अ फार्मासिस्ट, देन आपका जो रजिस्टर्ड फार्मेसी का लाइसेंस है वो भी आपको प्रोमिनेंट प्लेस में ही लगाना पड़ता है. जो भी आपका सेलिंग लाइसेंस, जो आपको लाइसेंसिंग अथॉरिटी ने दिया है, सेल करने के लिए अलग लाइसेंस होता है. हाँ, एंड द रजिस्टर्ड फार्मेसी का जो लाइसेंस होता है वो अलग होता है. मीन्स रजिस्टर्ड फार्मासिस्ट का जो लाइसेंस मिलता है फाइनल ईयर के बाद, दैट इज नथिंग बट you are the authorized person. Means you can sell the drug by standing in medical shop, but you cannot sell that medicines in the kirana or the grocery shop, because that grocery shop does not have the license for sale of drugs. I hope you are getting the difference. For selling the drug is require different license. For manufacturing drug is require different license, and whatever the license you get after the B pharmacy, that is nothing but you are the authorized person. That license is nothing. That license is not a manufacturer license. That license is not the selling license. That is your license. Means that license gives you authority to work under the premises where where already the license for sale is given or the license for manufacturing is given. Okay, I hope you have you got my point. Then uh, then we will see the conditions of license for the distribution of drugs from the motor vehicle. Now this is about the distribution. So here also the some criteria are same. Means that those drugs should be carried out from a duly licensed manufacturer. Means हम illegal किसी से ले नहीं सकते, किसी से किसी को भेज नहीं सकते. Then again uh, एजुकेशनल ऑफिसर्स के लिए या फिर एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट के लिए, अथॉरिटीज़ के लिए ये रूल से एग्जम्पशन दिया गया उनको। वो कभी भी आ सकते हैं, होलसेलर से ले सकते हैं मटेरियल और लेके जा सकते हैं। ये जो पॉइंट्स है जो मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ शॉर्ट में, वो आपको शॉर्ट में ही लिखने हैं अपने नोटबुक में। आप कैसे भी जो आपके सामने स्क्रीन पे दिख रहा है वही पॉइंट आप जैसे के वैसे लिख सकते हो, उसमें से आप कुछ शॉर्ट करके लिख सकते हो। लेकिन दिस इज ये कोई अभी ये लॉ की लैंग्वेज नहीं है। जैसे मैंने डेफिनेशंस आपको पढ़ाते वक्त कुछ लैंग्वेज मैंने जैसे कि वैसे लिख के दी थी, ये वो चीज़ें नहीं है। आप डेफिनेशन में कुछ चेंजेस नहीं कर सकते हो। लेकिन ये आपको अगर कंसेप्चुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग एक बार हो गई कि यार कौन अलग किसको एग्जम्पशन दिया गया है, कौन किसी का होलसेलर से विदाउट लाइसेंस परचेस कर सकता है, तो एक बार आपको ये समझ में आ गया तो you can write it down in a exam. Okay, the license shall be displayed at the prominent place. This is same. If there is any change, now the highlighted part is a little different, that's why I have highlighted it than the other parts. Okay, if there is any change in the vehicle, such change should be informed to the licensing authority. ये भी same है. If there is certain change in the staff, we should report to the licensing authority. If there is certain change in the facility, if there is certain change in the premises, then the location, that timely we should report it to the, or we should inform it to the licensing authority. So likewise, there is change in, if there is a change in vehicle, then also we need to report it to the licensing authority. The next is there should be proper storage facilities for the preservation of drug, which is very much a requirement. No license is required. Now this is again important. No license is required for the public carrier vehicle or hired vehicle. Now understand the difference between public carrier vehicle and private carrier vehicle. There are public limited companies, there are private limited companies. Public is nothing but the government companies. Private is nothing but the private companies. So public carrier vehicles are nothing but those are means those vehicles are to be run by the government, and not, it is not by the any organization, any private organization. Okay, so for in such a case no license is required. But again, the criterias for selling drugs via those vehicles like train, via bus, they you will always find there are some rules stick on the door of the bus, Maharashtra Shasan ST. Then you will find some rules mentioned in the train also. So that you cannot take the drugs which are banned with you in the bus. You cannot drink and travel from the bus means the apna red bus. Red bus means the government bus or the government trains or the flights also. So these are the public carrier vehicles. So from that, the no license is required. But again, there are some different criterias or different rules and regulations. So again, it is more or less similar, but as such no license is required from public carrier. Okay, if you are traveling from the private, if you have your own transportation available with you, then you need to what, take a permission of the licensing authority. Okay, now the next important point is restricted license. So drugs whose sale does not require the supervision of qualified person, uh, those drugs can be sold under the banner of restricted license. Okay, is a license for the sale or distribution of drugs whose sale does not require the supervision of a qualified person. This license is granted to a bona fide traveling agent of firm in such a rural area where other channel of distribution of drugs are not available. Suppose there is no other sources of drug supply are available, at that time such restricted license can be given. But such license is issued to vendors for sale of drugs other than those specified in Schedule X. Why it is so? Because it is not require the supervision of qualified person, and Schedule X are the dangerous drugs. These are the means Schedule X, as if you have seen the video, that X is the sign of danger, or Schedule X means the narcotic and psychotropic substances. So without the supervision of qualified person, those drugs should not be sale, manufacture, or anyway it is not should it should not be used. So that's why these are exempted from the restricted license. Okay, now what are the conditions before grant of such license? Some conditions to be followed. First is the number of such licenses granted in a locality during 1 year of the preceding year. So this is important criteria, means एक ही एरिया में अगर एक लाइसेंस ऐसा दिया है restricted license, so will that licensing authority give 2 3 more license in a same year? No, it licensing authority will deny some other, because the licensing authority already has given one license in that area in that preceding year. Okay, so this is important criteria, how much previously the such license are given in that particular area. Then the occupation, trade, or business carried on by the applicant, means whether that applicant is may although it is not required a well qualification for such license, still ऐसे ही किसी को किसी अनपढ़ गवार को ऐसा लाइसेंस मिलेगा क्या? कोई चोर है, गुंडा है, किसी के ऊपर पुलिस केसेस है, तो उसकी जो पर्सनल उसका ऑक्यूपेशन है, उसका मीन्स जो भी कुछ है सारा बैकग्राउंड ऑफ दैट एप्लीकेंट, that is to be considered by the licensing authority. Then we will see the conditions to be satisfied by the licensee for a restricted license. Along with the other conditions, the basic conditions like proper storage, then that license should be placed in a means that should be prominent place. The additional is the premises should be under the control of a registered pharmacist to supervise the sale, distribution, and preservation of drugs. Now, just remember one thing I have already told you, the license for selling is different and registered pharmacist is different, means license for registered pharmacist is different. So although it is not required the license for selling, means although you are not qualified for applying to the selling license, you will get this restricted license if you are a graduate. Suppose your occupation, trade, or business is good, and in your area no such a license is given, and you are graduate, and means all the other things which are mentioned by the licensing authority are you are satisfying those things, and in that case only you are not qualified in that particular, then also you will get a restricted license. But again it is a requirement of what? It is requirement that you should hire a registered pharmacist, or you should ask the registered pharmacist, or you yourself pass the examination and become a registered pharmacist, and that registered pharmacist should be there in that particular premises where the drug selling is happen. Okay, this is the additional criteria. Then again the purchase shall be done by the licensed manufacturer. Then any changes in the firm should be mentioned to the licensing authority. These are nothing but the common criteria which are there everywhere in this act. Okay, now the next is conditions to be satisfied by the applicant to issue license in these forms, various forms. Okay, so again there are various different criteria about the storage and about the the requirements for selling the drugs. Okay, but in that the second one I have highlighted, it should follow, it should be as per the schedule N. And what is schedule N? It prescribes the minimum equipment to be possessed by a pharmacy. So according to schedule N, that pharmacy should be well equipped. Pharmacy is nothing but the pharmacy store. Okay, we have already seen the definitions in that drug store or the chemist and druggist and the pharmacy. Those definition we have already written, so you can turn the pages of your notebook, and in very first lecture or first two lectures of this act, particularly this chapter, we have written the definition, so you will come to know what is the difference. So just turn the pages and see the definition of pharmacy. So that pharmacy or that store must be it must follow the guidelines of Schedule N. Okay, then a license in Form 20F shall be granted to pharmacy in such area and to pharmacy which is not operating chemist or druggist. um, जहाँ पे केमिस्ट एंड ड्रगिस्ट नहीं है, ऑपरेटिंग केमिस्ट एंड ड्रगिस्ट नहीं है, वहाँ पे 20F का ये दिया जाता है. 20F इज आई थिंक नथिंग बट द restricted license. While granting such license, the licensing authority should consider the following. Again, they must consider how much such license have given. Okay, then the occupation of that licensee or the applicant. Then there must be a presence of registered pharmacist. It is again important. Kaisa bhi ho premises, for the control and the supervision, there must be a registered pharmacist present. And the area is very important. Area is 15 square meters. The area of such drugs means ये जो यहाँ पे फॉर्म्स दिए गए हैं, इनके ये अगर आपको लाइसेंस चाहिए, ये फॉर्म में जो यहाँ पे जो भी मेंशन किया है, फॉर्म 20, 20B, 20F, 20G, 21, देन द एरिया मस्ट बी 15 स्क्वायर मीटर्स. यहाँ पे जो एरिया बताया गया है वो 15 स्क्वायर मीटर. सो ये भी एक इम्पॉर्टेंट पैरामीटर है, एरिया कैसा चाहिए, कितना चाहिए. उसमें 15 स्क्वायर मीटर्स का जो है, नॉट लेस देन 15 स्क्वायर मीटर्स, मीन्स it should be 15 square meters or above. Then conditions of a general licenses, that we will see one by one. This is very, these are the general criteria. So the following conditions are required to be followed for the sale of drug in form 20, 20B, 20F, 20G, 21, 21B. Okay, so these are some conditions which are to be followed. So for the dispensing and compounding, uh, just we will focus on the highlighted part, because there is nothing to discuss in this chapters. Okay, these topics. So direct and personal supervision of registered pharmacist is required in the dispensing and compounding. Then uh, shall be such drug means such drug shall be supplied only the prescription of a registered medical practitioner and shall be under personal supervision of registered pharmacist. ये होना चाहिए. नाउ अभी जब रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर का भी से अगर कुछ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन आता है तो उसका रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन होना चाहिए, एंड दैट शुड बी रिकॉर्डेड, मीन्स द फॉलोइंग पर्टिकुलर्स शैल बी इंटर्ड इन द रजिस्टर. मीन्स जो भी रिकॉर्ड मेंटेन होगा अदर देन स्पेसिफाइड इन शेड्यूल एक्स, मीन्स शेड्यूल एक्स के अलावा जो ड्रग्स होंगे उनके लिए जो रिकॉर्ड होगा उसमें क्या क्या होगा, तो उसमें होगा सीरियल नंबर ऑफ द एंट्री, the date of supply, the name and address of the prescriber, the name and address of the patient, or the name and address of the owner of the animal if the drug supplied is for the veterinary use, then the name of drug or preparation and the quantity, or in case of medicine made up by the licensee, the ingredients and quantities thereof. जनरली अभी तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि मेडिकल स्टोर में कुछ प्रिपरेशन बनाते हैं, लेकिन पहले ऐसा होता था कि डिस्पेंसिंग एंड वो वहाँ पे डिस्पेंसिंग होता था. मीन जो एमडीपी के प्रैक्टिकल में, मॉडर्न डिस्पेंसिंग प्रैक्टिसेस में, जो फर्स्ट ईयर में हम कुछ इमल्शन बनाते हैं, वैसा कुछ यूटेक्टिक मिक्सचर होते हैं, वो जो हम फॉर्मुलेट करते हैं ना, वैसा एक्चुअल मेडिकल शॉप में होता था. अभी तो पूरा पैकेजिंग आ गया, सब पैक्ड होके आता है, हम जस्ट मेडिकल शॉप वाला हमें दे देता है जो भी कुछ फॉर्मुलेटेड है, कोई हमें बना के नहीं देता. लेकिन पहले ऐसा होता. तो अगर ऐसा है कंडीशन कि कोई कुछ वहाँ पे फॉर्मुलेट करके दे रहा है, तो उसका जो इंग्रेडिएंट एंड क्वांटिटीज है दैट शुड बी मेंशन ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर लेबल. ओके, in the case of drug specified in schedule X or schedule H, the name of the manufacturer of drug, its batch number, and the date of expiry of potency, if any, that to be mentioned. Now शेड्यूल एक्स के अलावा शेड्यूल सी एंड शेड्यूल एच अगर है तो उसके लिए क्या होना चाहिए, वहाँ पे मैन्युफैक्चरर नेम होना चाहिए, देन बैच नंबर होना चाहिए, एंड डेट ऑफ एक्सपायरी ऑफ पोटेंसी ये भी होना चाहिए शेड्यूल सी एंड एच के बारे में. Then signature of the registered pharmacist by or under whose supervision the medicine was made or supplied. और अगर मेड मीन्स मैंने पहले बताया, जैसे डिस्पेंस किया होगा तो अंडर हुज सुपरविजन द मेडिसिन वाज मेड, और अगर सिर्फ किसी प्रिस्क्रिप्शन के अगेंस्ट वो सपोज किसी डॉक्टर ने अभी प्रिस्क्राइब किया कि इरिथ्रोमाइसिन 500 mg 30 टैबलेट्स और सॉरी 15 टैबलेट्स, देन वहाँ पे रजिस्टर्ड फार्मासिस्ट की सिग्नेचर होगी कि ये जो स्ट्रिप है 15 टैबलेट्स की इरिथ्रोमाइसिन की, वो मैंने नाम के आदमी को, इस एज के आदमी को, इस डॉक्टर ने जब मुझे प्रिस्क्रिप्शन दिया तो मैंने उसको उस प्रिस्क्रिप्शन के अगेंस्ट वो मेडिसिन दे दी। वो सब रिकॉर्ड उसके पास होना चाहिए। Now we will see the supply of Schedule C drugs. Means there are some certain additional requirement other than this. Supply of Schedule C drug में serial number of entry तो आएगी, date of expiry भी आएगा, name and address of purchaser भी आएगा, लेकिन along with that name of the manufacturer, batch number and expiry date, as we have seen earlier. Here Schedule C and Schedule H में क्या क्या होता है? Name of the manufacturer, batch number and expiry date, and sign of qualified person वो तो होगा ही, name and quantities of drugs. These are the requirement. As I said, what are required in Schedule C, and many drugs it is common. Serial number of entry, date of expiry, name and address of purchaser, then name and quantities of drug, then sign of qualified person, then name of the manufacturer, batch number and expiry date, etc, etc. Okay, so these all things are required. Now supply of other drugs में क्या आएगा? This is some things are very repetitive, and that's why I have not highlighted those things. Those are not that important. You can write it on your own. Name, address, sale of license, serial number, cash or credit memo, name and quantity of drug supply, ये सब जो भी है वो repeatedly common हो रहा है. Now the most important is sale of Schedule H and शेड्यूल एक्स ड्रग. सो उसमें क्या क्या एडिशनल है ये आपको रिमेंबर करना है. तो व्हाट इज द एडिशन इन दैट? शेड्यूल एच एंड एक्स ड्रग्स shall be sold by retail only on the prescription of registered medical practitioner. Okay, so these are the ड्रग्स विच इज़ टू बी सोल्ड बाय द रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर. उन ड्रग्स के यहाँ पे अगर शेड्यूल एच लिखा है तो उसके ब्रैकेट में लिखा होता है कि दिस ड्रग्स टू बी सोल्ड बाय द रिटेल प्रिस्क्रिप्शन ऑफ रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल practitioner. Okay, so without the prescription this drug cannot be sold. The prescription should be in duplicate form. One copy of this prescription should be preserved by the licensee for at least 2 years. सपोज मेरे पास कोई आता है डाइजेपाम का प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लेके, इट इज इन द इट इज अ नार्कोटिक एंड साइकोट्रोपिक सब्सटेंस सपोज. So I should make a copy of that particular prescription, and I should maintain that record for at least 2 years. Then those say अंडर साइन रिटर्न प्रिस्क्रिप्शन मीन्स अगर हमें हॉस्पिटल को या फिर नर्सिंग होम्स को या फिर रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर को सेंड करना है. सपोज आई एम अ न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट and I require these narcotic and psychotropic substances as a part of my treatment, and I need to be those medicines should be there in my clinic, or those medicines should be in their my hospital. Then I will give the signed written prescription to the licensee, and against that prescription he will give me the drugs. Okay, and that prescription also should be maintain the record of such prescription. Then the premises should be under the control of registered medical practitioner. That is nothing new in that. Every premises, although it is a restricted license, or it is a Schedule X drug, Schedule H drugs, whatever kind of drugs which are to be sold, that to be under the guidance of or the under the control of registered pharmacist. Means वहाँ पे कोई भी ये नहीं है, जो भी वहाँ पे चाहिए ही चाहिए. इसलिए जो भी अगर ड्रग इंस्पेक्टर कभी भी रेड डालता है किसी मेडिकल शॉप पे, और अगर वहाँ पे रजिस्टर्ड फार्मेसिस्ट प्रेजेंट नहीं है, तो फिर क्या होता है वो हमने ऑलरेडी फार्मेसी एक्ट में लिखा है, बताया है कि व्हाट इज द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ दिस रजिस्टर्ड फार्मेसिस्ट. सो ऑल इज रिक्वायर्ड हियर ऑल्सो. नाउ देर आर some things like, in case of pharmacy, license in the form 20 and 21 shall be granted according to the requirement of pharmacy which is specified in schedule N. few things are very common, means the again the schedule X and schedule H, अगर schedule H and X के भी ड्रग है तो भी हम उसे बाकी के जो सारे ड्रग्स जैसे हम लाइसेंस मैन्युफैक्चर से लेते हैं, उनका स्टोरेज प्रॉपर होता है, उनकी एक्सपायरी डेट मेंटेन करते हैं. इन एडिशन टू ऑल दिस क्राइटेरिया there are some additional criteria and that we have already discussed. Okay, the records register which are maintained shall be preserved for at least 2 years. This is also similar for the other. Only the schedule X and X schedule H and X drugs are to be sold by the retail practitioner is the new thing in this point. Okay, now dispensing is nothing, there is nothing new in the dispensing of schedule H drug and X drug. It is those shall not be dispensed more than once unless the prescriber have stated that it may be dispensed for more than once. जैसे कि आपने टाइप्स ऑफ प्रिस्क्रिप्शन पढ़े होंगे तो उसमें देर आर ड्यूप्लेक्स ट्रिप्लेक्स ऐसे प्रिस्क्रिप्शन होते हैं. मीन्स जो भी रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर होता है वो लिखता है वहाँ पे कि ये प्रिस्क्रिप्शन 2 3 4 बार यूज़ कर सकते हैं. ओके, और कभी कभी अगर वो नार्कोटिक एंड साइकोट्रोपिक सब्सटेंसेस है तो वो रजिस्टर्ड प्रैक्टिशनर क्या बोलते हैं कि ये जो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन है वो सिर्फ एक ही बार यूज़ हो सकता है. अगर ये एक बार यूज़ हुआ तो ये बार बार यूज़ नहीं हो सकता. ओके, तो क्या होता है फिर एक बार यूज़ करने के बाद वो प्रिस्क्रिप्शन दोबारा यूज़ नहीं कर सकते. लेकिन अगर मैं न्यूरोलॉजिस्ट हूँ और मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि ये दूसरे महीने भी लगने वाला है तो मैं उधर क्या लिखूंगा कि ड्यूप्लेक्स में, मतलब या फिर ये 2 बार ये यूज़ कर सकता है. तो उसके वक्त क्या होगा कि दूसरी बार भी अगर वो पेशेंट जाता है मेडिकल में तो उसको मिलेगा, लेकिन तीसरी बार अगर वो जाएगा तो उसको डिनाई कर दिया जाएगा कि वो अभी यूज़ नहीं कर सकता. तो वो टोटली डिपेंड ऑन दैट प्रिस्क्रिप्शन वेदर इट इज़ इन दैट फॉर्मेट और नॉट. सो ऑन दैट बेसिस द डिस्पेंसिंग इज डन बाय द रजिस्टर्ड फार्मासिस्ट. देन while dispensing schedule H and X does, signature, name and address of the seller and date on which it is dispensed shall be recorded. ये भी सारे इसमें होता ही है कि किससे रजिस्टर्ड मेडिकल प्रैक्टिशनर कौन था, रजिस्टर्ड फार्मासिस्ट कौन था, पेशेंट कौन था, उनके नाम क्या थे, क्या कंडीशंस थी, कौन से ड्रग्स थे, उनकी क्वांटिटी क्या थी, ये सारे चीज़ों का रिकॉर्ड मेडिकल स्टोर या फिर होलसेल स्टोर वालों को अपने यहाँ पे अपने कंप्यूटर में अपने रजिस्टर में रखना पड़ता है. दैट इज़ नथिंग बट द कंडीशंस. नाउ storage of these drugs are under lock and key, obviously in a cupboard or in premises recorded for the storage of these substances in a part of premises solely separated from the remainder of premises, and qualified person is responsible to access those drugs. मीन्स वो कवर्ड में होने चाहिए, उनको लॉक होना चाहिए, और जो भी क्वालिफाइड पर्सन है या फिर रजिस्टर्ड फार्मासिस्ट है दोज पर्सन ओनली वही लोग वो लॉक ओपन कर सकते हैं, उस ड्रग्स को टच कर सकते हैं, वो ड्रग को सेल कर सकते हैं. ओके, देन रिकॉर्ड ऑफ परचेस में क्या क्या आएगा नाउ. अभी आपको पूरी आइडिया आ गई कि इसमें क्या आएगा. अभी डेट ऑफ परचेस आएगी, नेम एंड एड्रेस ऑफ पर्सन आएगा, नेम ऑफ ड्रग आएगा, क्वांटिटी आएगी, बैच नंबर आएगा, नेम ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरर आएगा. दैट इज इन द रिकॉर्ड ऑफ परचेस. ओके, देन होलसेल सप्लाई ऑफ ड्रग, उसमें भी यही सारी चीज़ें आते हैं. इन एडिशन टू दैट कार्बन कॉपीज ऑफ कैश एंड क्रेडिट मेमोस शैल बी मेंटेन बाय द लाइसेंसी. सपोज मुझे किसी रिटेलर ने, एक एक्सपाइजेड मेडिकल शॉप है एंड आई एम अ होलसेलर है, मैं एक होलसेलर हूँ, अगर उसने मुझे कुछ कैश दिया है, चेक दिया है, क्रेडिट किया है, तो उसने जो मुझे पैसे दिए उसका एक कॉपी मुझे रखना पड़ेगा मेरे साथ, और वो कितने दिन तक रखना पड़ेगा, फॉर द 2 years. देन रिकॉर्ड ऑफ परचेज भी वैसे ही होगा, किससे लिया है, कब लिया है, उसका नाम क्या है, वो सारी चीज़ें वहाँ पे लिखनी पड़ेगी. बैच नंबर लिखना पड़ेगा, नेम ऑफ मैन्युफैक्चरर, बैच नंबर, लाइसेंस नंबर तो आता ही है, ये हमेशा ध्यान रखो. आपको ये सारी चीज़ें याद आ जाएंगी कि डेट ऑफ परचेज, नेम, एड्रेस ऑफ द ड्रग, देन क्वांटिटी, ये सारी चीज़ आ जाएंगी याद. लेकिन लाइसेंस नंबर एंड बैच नंबर, ये जो दो चीज़ें हैं वो शायद आप भूल सकते हो एट द टाइम ऑफ एग्जाम. सो ये याद रखो, बाकी ये सारी चीज़ें तो कॉमन है. Then I have already told you to see the definitions of drugstore, then chemist and druggist, then pharmacy, then you will come to know what are the differences in those things. Okay. um, Wait. So these are nothing but the descriptions of the premises, means ड्रग स्टोर का क्या premises होता है, एंड केमिस्ट एंड ड्रगिस्ट का क्या होता है, फार्मेसी का क्या होता है. That is nothing. Now the last part of this is the veterinary drugs and classes of prohibited drugs, means किस ड्रग्स को प्रोहिबिट किया गया है. वो वेटरनरी ड्रग का अगर होगा तो उसमें एक सिंपल लेबल रहेगा, नॉट फॉर ह्यूमन यूज एंड फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एनिमल्स ऑफ यूज इनली. बाकी की सारी चीज़ें सेम रहेगी. वो भी एक इंस्पेक्शन बुक बनाएगा. वो इंस्पेक्शन बुक जब भी आता है वो किस में बनता है, फॉर्म 35 में बनता है, ये आपको अभी पता हो चुका है. तो उसमें कुछ अलग नहीं है. शैल नॉट सेल और स्टॉक एक्सपायर्ड ड्रग्स. जो एक्सपायर्ड ड्रग है वो सेल नहीं करने चाहिए और स्टॉक भी नहीं करना चाहिए, और वो ऐसी जगह पे स्टोर करके रखनी चाहिए, वहाँ पे लेबल होना चाहिए नॉट फॉर सेल. ये दिस इज फॉर द वेटरनरी मेडिसिन ओनली, यू नीड टू रिमेंबर, नॉट फॉर ह्यूमन यूज, फॉर द ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ एनिमल्स ओनली, ये लेबल उसके ऊपर होना चाहिए. नाउ द लास्ट पार्ट ऑफ दिस इज द कैसे क्लासेस ऑफ प्रोहिबिटेड ड्रग्स. उसमें क्या क्या आएगा. नाउ द डेफिनेशन ऑफ सच थिंग्स वी हैव ऑलरेडी सीन, ओनली यू नीड टू रिमेंबर. Adulterated, spurious, misbranded drugs or drugs which are not of standard quality, ये ड्रग प्रोहिबिटेड है सेल के लिए. द फॉलोइंग क्लासेस ऑफ ड्रग्स आर प्रोहिबिटेड फॉर इट्स मैन्युफैक्चर, सेल एंड डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन. ओके, सो उसमें कौन कौन से कैटेगरीज आते हैं वो हम देख रहे हैं. Adulterated, spurious, misbranded drugs or drugs which are not of standard quality. Then patent and proprietary medicine of which formula is not disclosed, ये भी उसमें आते हैं. Then in the contravention of provision of the act, means जो भी drugs इस act के against है वो भी prohibit है. Then schedule J के जो ड्रग्स है वो हमने पहले भी इसके बारे में बात की कि ऐसे कोई आता है कि क्योर लेके कि किस डिसीज़ या डिसऑर्डर का अगर क्योर नहीं है, लेकिन अगर कोई क्लेम कर रहा है कि उसका मेरे पास क्योर है, तो ऐसे अगर लिस्ट में, अगर उस लिस्ट की डिसीज़ और डिसऑर्डर में से कोई है, शेड्यूल जे के लिस्ट में जो डिसीज़ एंड डिसऑर्डर्स मेंशन है उसमें से अगर कोई बोल रहा है उसमें से एक डिसीज या डिसऑर्डर का क्योर है, तो ऐसे वाले ड्रग्स भी प्रोहिबिटेड है. देन एक्सपायर्ड ड्रग्स भी प्रोहिबिटेड है. देन द ड्रग्स इंटेंडेड फॉर द कंजम्पशन ऑफ एम्प्लॉयज, स्टेट इंश्योरेंस स्कीम और गवर्नमेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस. नाउ सी, there are some drugs which are formulated by the government authorities and that to be sale in the government hospitals only, that to be not sale actually, that to be supplied to the government hospital only. So वो सारे जो drugs होते हैं ना वो हम सेल नहीं कर सकते. that is for the government use only government hospitals can sell those drugs. सेल मीन्स हम 5 रुपीज़ ओनली केस पेपर के देते हैं, उसके अगेंस्ट हमें सारे मेडिसिन फ्री में मिल जाते हैं गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में, राइट. तो वैसे वाले जो सारे मेडिसिन होते हैं हम, दैट इज़ नॉट फॉर सेल, तो उसके ऊपर नॉट फॉर सेल का टैग लगा रहता है. उसके बाद जो फिजिशियन सैंपल होते हैं, मीन्स जो एमआर लोग फिजिशियंस को जाके अपने सैंपल देते हैं, वहाँ पे भी फिजिशियन सैंपल नॉट टू बी सोल्ड ऐसा लेबल लगाया जाता है, तो वो भी प्रोहिबिटेड है सेल करने के लिए. देन ड्रग्स नॉट इंटेंडेड फॉर सेल, एनी हाउ इसमें से कुछ छूट जाता है अगर, तो ड्रग्स दोज आर नॉट इंटेंडेड फॉर सेल आर द पार्ट ऑफ प्रोहिबिटेड ड्रग्स. ओके, सो दिस इज अबाउट द सेल ऑफ ड्रग्स. So we have covered the manufacturing of allopathic drug and then sale of the drugs. Only I have highlighted the important points. You also write down the important points in your notebook while watching the video. If you require it the revision, then just pause the video, go back from the first minute, then again watch the video again, and then write down the important points in your notebook.